Welcome to a Sunday night edition of TNT. And we got a couple of special guests here today. We've got 2A and we have King Sober AF. How's everybody doing?
What's up, brother?
Good.
Doing good. Doing good.
I know we don't usually do a Sunday night broadcast, but I think we've got a few thoughts we wanted to share about a couple of things going on there.
Yeah, I agree. Let me see. All right.
I love the name of the show you put on there.
Yes, the Sunday night shit show. Believe it or not.
There we go. That'll work. All right. I think I got all my stuff. Test. Chat. Let me test the chat. Make sure I got everything going. Boom. Okay. Good. All right. I'm set.
All right. Cool. So, King Sober, I'm going to start with you, buddy. I know you've been having some ongoing dramas with Apple support.
Yeah. So, my name's Nick, a.k.a. King Sober as fuck. And I just want to say, fuck you, Tim Cook, you asshole. You rich asshole. Listen, here's the problem that I have with Apple. Apple makes awesome products. They have a great mobile ecosystem. Nobody's going to sit here and pretend. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't have the Apple Watch Ultra sitting here with the iPhone 14 Pro sitting here with the backup iPhone. I'm not going to pretend like I don't have my M1 iPad over here, my 4K Apple TV. I've got my stupid Siri HomePod, which is fucking worthless, right? I've got Apple AirPods Max. I just throw money at these people. And the thing is that these products, right? These are good products. These are the Apple Watch Ultra is a great product. I think it's the best. I think it's the best Apple Watch that they've made. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Well, for fucking $900, if for $900, it better fucking be. But so my problem is so I'll show y'all. I got my Apple Watch Ultra. I was excited because I like to go scuba diving. I like to go swimming. I've been doing cold plunging, and I'm like, cool. I can do some of this stuff with the Apple Watch that you can't do with some other watches. Okay, for $900, you better do something that the other watches can't do. So I have had 3 weeks in. Okay, almost about 4 weeks now. So some of y'all saw my tweet. I tweeted this band, this little band right here, right? This where am I at? Here we go. This band,
the most popular band.
Is the most popular band, right? I had it for a week. Do you see the orange there? It is not an orange band. This is orange. So this is discoloration within a week. I didn't go out and fucking climb Mount Everest. Okay, I didn't go out like they do in the commercials. Because no, when they sell me this product, they tell me I can go climb Mount Everest. I can go do all this crazy shit for $900. I should be able to do it within a week. This band, right? And it's a band. It's not a big deal, right? To me, it's like, well, okay, whatever, right? But they charge $100 for this. I can go on Amazon. I can buy the same exact quality band for $13 and have it here. It's a principle at this point. So I hit up the official support channels that they have in place.
What I think you're saying is, though, if you pay $13 for a band and that happened, it wouldn't matter because it was $13.
I wouldn't give a shit. I'd throw it in the trash and I'd have another one. I'd have another one here the next day. But this came with the watch, and I walked out. Just so I can pull. I'll pull the receipt out in the box. It's right over here. I walked out. I think I paid $960, $860, somewhere around there for a watch. And this is the band that came with it. Nothing else. No, I didn't get a hand job. I didn't get anything. I got this, right? No happy ending. But I was okay with that because I know when I go in, I'm paying for the logo. I'm paying for the amazing customer service. I'm paying for some genius guy to tell me that this is amazing, whatever, right? So that's all part of the package deal. And people say when you have Apple products, that's part of the price tag. Is the official support, the long-term support. You can keep it forever, right? A week. I'm being serious with y'all. I live in Florida. All I did was sweat a little bit. That was it. I didn't do
off an orange.
Well, you know what? I probably would have had a better time if I did jerk off an orange. I mean, I didn't even get that. And so after a week, I tweeted out to Apple support, just like, hey, so check it out. What does this say?
Apple.
So
fuel under the fire there, brother.
So I tweet out, and anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that I don't give. My name on Twitter is King Sober AF. That's at King Sober AF, and my name is Mister I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I talk to exactly how I'm talking right now. So I talk to people in real life. Is how I talk to people wherever I go. So I just tweeted like, hey, for almost $900, this is unacceptable. This is poor quality. So what's the solution? So people got all over my ass on Twitter and said, how dare you? How dare you tweet to Apple support and an official support thing set up by Apple and expect them to help you? Yeah, how dare me as a consumer reach out to an official support? I'm not an idiot. I've been doing. I bought the first fucking iPhone when it came out. A lot of these people who are in tech, I'm not talking about you guys, but these people who are telling me this stuff. Hey, when was your first iPhone? Well, I got the iPhone 12. Go fuck yourself, kid. Yeah. Listen, I've spent thousands of people's college tuitions in Apple products. Yeah. Like no bullshit in my life. So $100 band is nothing. I can wipe my ass with $100. It becomes a principal point. So what they did, here's what they did. I reached out and said, people said, you need to download the app. Download the app. They say, well, you need to email somebody. I email somebody, and I don't get a response. It's escalated now at this point. So then, long story short, I get an appointment. I find it very odd because I'm very much aware of my return date, my return window. It's a very pricey thing. If I don't feel it's worth it, I'm going to return it and get my money back. They made the appointment for the day after my return window, and I even said to them, hey, guys, this is the day after my return window. If I get there and this thing is not fixed, yeah, here you go. Ready to pull your pants down because here it comes. Yeah. So what I do is I tell them, hey, listen, it's a day afterwards. It's a day after. What's going to happen if I get there and I don't get a solution? And they're like, it's a band, right? We're going to take it. It's no big deal. It's a band. Yeah. I'm going, you're right. You're right. We're not talking about the watch is solid. The watch is, there's no defect on the watch. Then I would have probably been a little bit more leery. But I'm thinking swap out the band. No, when I get there, and I feel bad for just let me say this: the person who works in the store, they're not making Tim Cook's salary. They're getting screwed on their own. I don't take it out on them, but they basically told me, look, there's nothing we can do. Get fucked. Yeah. And I was like, excuse me, you can't just swap out this band. Yeah. My option was at the time before I told them it was absolutely ridiculous that I needed to they wanted me to return the entire watch during my return period, hold the $860, have me spend another $860.
No way.
Right. Yeah. So now we're talking almost $2,000 on a watch for a watch band, right? So that was the first solution. I said, no, you're not going to hold it for 10 to 14 days onto the original $860 so that I can get a watch. We're talking about $100 watch. We swap the fucking thing out. And the lady, they escalated. Oh yeah. And they give me the appointment. And I knew, but I said, you know what? They said it. It's in writing. They're going to take care of me. Yeah. They didn't take care of me. And then the emails are not being responded to. The phone calls, they're saying you have to wait for the email. Yeah. And then of course I blast their ass on Twitter. People start commenting on the Twitter. It ain't nothing to go viral or nothing, but within the little bit of circles that I'm in, people are commenting on it, tagging them. And of course, Apple support. Hey, we'd love to talk to you in the DMs. And I said, well, hey, motherfucker, I've been in your DM for 2 weeks trying to get you to talk to me. So I shared their comment into their own DM and said, hey, I've been waiting for you guys. Yeah. Guess what? Where's my phone? I got so many phones.
You have too many phones.
I got phones everywhere. So we're just gonna show everybody the way that this went, the way that this works. Because I'm not gonna say anything I can't fucking prove. So they come and they say, this is Apple support. Where are we at? Apple support. I send them their fucking tweet that says, hey, as mentioned previously, we'd like to assist. You're welcome to send us a DM to work towards a solution. And I tell them, I've been waiting since February 3rd for them to respond. Well, guess what? That was 6 days ago on Monday. These motherfuckers have not responded. Yeah. Go figure. But go to the official Apple support. 7 hours ago, they wanted to tell me how to use my fucking flashlight on the iPhone. They want to give me a tutorial on how to use my flashlight in 2023 on the iPhone. But my $900
Wait,
purchase.
what's the link to that? I don't know how to use my flashlight. What's the link to that?
Yeah. So this is what they're doing. Instead of helping customers who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars since 2007, you know why people, I'm sorry, you're not going to like this, because Apple knows you're fucking idiots. Most of the people who buy these phones don't want to know anything, or they don't want to be involved in tech. They just want to pick up their phone and use it and say Apple's the best. And you know what? Apple is the best at a lot of things. Apparently, customer support is not. So you want to talk about 5 years of OS supports? That's great. But when your shit goes south and there's no customer service and not in the store, not anywhere, what does any of that matter? So that's that. I'm pissed. My next move is to go to Tim Cox's house, knock on his door, and ask him to replace my band. Right, exactly. But what am I supposed to do as a general consumer? And let me make it very clear. I'm not bitter. People can be like, "You're mad." I talk like this. I don't really. This is $100. This is not. It's a principle matter now.
Right.
I have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of tech of Apple in this house. I'll fucking sell all of it, never buy another piece of it over something stupid like this, because I'm tired of getting jerked around. So,
it's funny that you say that, because, I think I mentioned this to you earlier today that, Apple support used to be the shit.
Yes.
Like that, it was what
that was part of the high prices included in, I'm paying for Apple, but what am I getting? I can walk into a store. You couldn't do that with Sammy. You couldn't do that with Google. I can call, I can email, I can send smoke signals, whatever it is, and I'm getting 5 years of support. That was what it was. But does that really fucking matter when it comes down to little shit like this? The 5 years of OS updates is not going to fix this.
Now, can I just ask you, what did they say they thought was the cause?
They didn't. They didn't say what they thought was the cause was. Apparently, clearly this is some sort of defect.
Right. Okay.
Something. I don't know if it's some.
Because mine has the rubber underwater band, so I can go scuba diving, and I haven't had the same issue. But I don't go scuba diving either, so
we'll see. No, I don't know. Go scuba diving, you might get fucked. I don't know what happens. I'm just saying. But this Alpine Loop is supposed to be like in the commercial. There's a guy he's running, he's climbing Mount Everest. I walked my fat ass to my car, and this is what I got.
Do you live on Mount Everest? Do you live on Mount Everest? Oh,
no. Just in case anybody was wondering. No, but that's the biggest problem is these prices are getting higher and higher. And what's happening is now they're $1 trillion company. Things are falling to the wayside. Customer service, official support. You have enough time. Somebody sat down at that Apple support system. I've been waiting since February 3rd for someone to help me. Yeah. They decided to sit down and type out with a little bit of a video on how to use your fucking flashlight, but they can't help me. And then, but when I blast you on in public, it's, hey, we're here to assist because we don't want to look bad. We want you to spend all your money with us. And then I send you your own, like literally right after they did it, because I have my notifications on. I'm on Twitter. Boom. Hey, I've been waiting on you guys. Send it right over to them. That was Monday.
Well, in my experience with customer service in general, when you blast someone on Twitter, they usually are on you like that, especially if you get responses. But with DMing a company support, it's worthless. I've never had it. It takes hours to get responses. So for me, I'm looking up that 1-800 number, and I will sit on hold for an hour to talk to somebody.
And I have.
And the problem with that is I get to the point where I'm agitated, where I take it out on the wrong person. I know it's not that person, the customer's issue. And
it's not.
That's the only problem. But Apple, as big as they are, and as popular as they are, they shouldn't be having this issue, especially if it's something like that. They could say,
and don't make the DM an official capacity for support if it's worthless. Just say, hey, Apple support is for how to use your flashlight. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But they're toting it as a way of reaching out and assisting you. Right. They're literally commenting, hey, we want to assist you. Well, then fucking assist me.
Well,
don't ignore me.
That band cost them $10 to make. They
not even a new one. 10 cents. They're 10 cents probably.
If you're blowing it up online and you say, "Oh, Apple just came out and replaced it," you're gonna have everyone and their mom starting to DM them like, "Oh, my watch is all screwed up. I need to free something for free." That's the only issue they got to be careful with. And I'm not trying to.
I agree.
But
no. I agree.
Pay for that watch. It should not be tarnishing anyways.
No,
not look like that at all.
The band is look, dude. I've got other bands. I'm literally this. I got this red band on it. I got it on Amazon. It's a sport band, right? Yeah, I've worn this thing. I've worn this thing in the pool. I've worn this, done this. I've gone swimming with this. I went jogging with that. This thing doesn't have a mark on it. This was $7. This is $100 in the store. It didn't even last a week. So what the fuck am I buying here?
Well, you made a good point. Yeah. Amazon probably has third-party bands that look similar. They're just as cheap, and if they break, they break. I haven't looked it up, but I'm sure.
I'll be honest with you, King. So with the Apple Watch Ultra, the best band that I tried was actually the one that 2NA has. The diving band is the best one. Like it fits more snug. It's a lot easier to kind of clasp on instead of the other one that they have, not the trail loop band. And honestly, it held up it's held up very well. And the third-party bands on Amazon, I think there's been a lot of talk about that on Twitter. They're actually pretty fucking good.
They
don't have the markup. They could sell a $10 band for $12. Yeah, Apple's gonna slap their name on it for $100. It's
right.
Yeah, it's common.
Yeah,
it's probably coming from the same factory. Let's be honest, right? Like,
it is. They're coming from China. But I mean, I like some of these stretchy bands like I have on my Galaxy Watch. Some of these, like when I'm around the house or when I sleep. So I was like, I really wanted to try out like the sleep tracking and stuff on an Apple Watch Ultra and really push the battery life to its limit. So I thought this would be a good way to do that. And I mean, it didn't even last a week, and it was like this. So for me, it's like it's a simple thing to just swap out a band. I mean, that's a simple thing. I shouldn't have to have you hold on to almost $2,000 of my money to get me to do it. And then when I buck on that and say, yo, you're right, that makes sense. Here's what we'll do. I'm throwing out dates. These aren't exact dates. Don't hold me to this. But say my return window was the 13th. They made me an appointment. The first available appointment was on the 14th. And I'd said to them, hey, my return window is on the 13th. If this isn't fixed, I'm going to return this. Don't worry. We're going to take care of you. You're going to work. It's just a band. And I'm going, that makes sense as a consumer. It is. It's just a band. We're not talking about the watch. Yeah. They've got 100 bands next week. I'm going to go in. It's going to be real easy. I'm here to swap out the band. And then I got there and that's not what it was.
Yeah.
So that's where I have a problem. And now it's take your 900.
You can't return now?
No, that's it. That's my point. Yeah. So now I'm stuck. Now I'm not which is fine. Listen. Nick's going to be fine. King's going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. I can sell the watch. I can use the watch. I can buy a third-party band. Nobody's going to know the difference, whatever. But the point is the principle. You made the appointment for the day after. I said, hey, I'm noticing what you're doing here. Yeah. I'm not an idiot. And they go, no, don't worry. If this was a defect in the watch or something, we'd go through a different channel. But we're going to send you back to the store, swap out that band, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. Then I get to the store and they go, hey, our hands are tied. It's the day after. And I go, wait, let me show you what they said. And they go, yeah, well, that's not we can do. You got to talk to them. Well, they don't want to talk to nobody. They're not returning money. And so now, who do I argue with at $1 trillion company? Nobody.
I'll be honest with you. This is a perfect opportunity for Apple to invent. I'm sorry, I said the wrong word there. Begin a service for therapy. So when you get pissed off by customer service, you can pay for their therapy sessions, and you're good. You're good.
They'll roll it into Apple Plus. It's $40 a month. They'll sell you more services. But that's ridiculous. I mean, that's not how you. That's how you become $1 trillion company, I guess, in a certain sense. But you don't stay. Look, and here's what a lot of people don't understand. Apple is Apple, right? I get it. But we all grew up in an age, Blockbuster was the biggest fucking thing in the world, and they were too big to fail. And all of a sudden, here came Netflix, and Netflix walked in the building and said, hey, we have an idea about how the future is going to be. We want you to buy this from us because you're the number one. You're Apple of the entertainment world. Yeah. You're worth billions and billions of dollars. Right. And all we want is $50 million. And they laughed them out and they said, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here. Well, now Netflix is worth billions of dollars and Blockbuster's bankrupt. So
here's the problem with these big companies. They need to have the mindset that you're never too big to fail. If they have that mindset, they won't fail. I mean, you can't be perfect in everything, but Apple's they're far from falling anytime soon. But
of course.
The introspection that I'm getting from a lot of people is there was that tweet. I don't think I'm jumping the gun here about all these big YouTubers are the S23. I'm switching, and they jump back to the iPhone.
Yeah.
I know, and it really pisses me off because I am the opposite. My workflow does not involve any Apple stuff. I've got the Watch Ultra and I got a 14 Pro, but I don't have an iPad. I don't have a MacBook. I use PC, Chromebook. But I like everything. What makes me mad is when someone posts something like that out in the open. That just gives those trolls out there more ammunition, more retweets, and it just makes everything else look like it's trash. And that's not the case.
I agree with that. I think the flip side of that is, though, that it unfortunately is a huge problem with the YouTube community in general. The YouTube community, what they do is they get the new iPhone. I'm going to use the iPhone. Let's say they're an Android guy. They get the iPhone, and they've got 14 days. So they use it for a week, and then they go, the iPhone's really great, guys. The iPhone's really great. And then they go and they get their money back, and they go back to fucking off and do whatever they were doing before because they only did it for the view. And they, hey, we all know what you're getting. We get a lot of upfront videos where, I got the Galaxy S23 Ultra. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. They'll get those clicks, and then they'll go back to whatever their bread and butter for their channel is. I'm not hating on that. No. The problem is I want to see what you're going to do with it a week from now, 2 weeks from now.
Listen, I'll tell you what the issue is, and we won't name names right now, but someone on a very
I'll name names. I don't give a fuck.
I didn't name a name.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'll just say, on Twitter, for those of you who are following any of these tech influencers, that one of them came out this week and said basically, hey, I wish you guys would stop talking about the S23 Ultra because you're all going to end up going back to your iPhone. Now, I had a fucking problem with that, and I'll explain why. I said the exact same thing a couple of months back. Before the release of S23 Ultra, I said, I'm getting sick of all these tech influencers pretending like they're not going to end up going back to their iPhone once they're done. I said the exact same fucking
Were you talking about the Pixel then?
I was talking about the Pixel at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
So that same person
hold on.
down my fucking throat. And
so that's why you were upset now, because I was like, why are you angry? That person is the one who shoved it down your throat.
Yeah, he shoved it down my throat. Most of us have multiple phones, and then there was fucking another influencer jumped. I will forget the name of it, but he was like, another one jumped in. He was like, oh, who's telling you this? Telling me like I'm a fucking moron.
Did your Pixel were the buttons missing on your Pixel though? I mean, maybe that was
no, not at all. I mean, guess what? The camera wasn't broken either. The camera glass wasn't broken either, right? So
it didn't just spontaneously combust.
Yeah, fucking
with a bullet hole in it.
Yeah,
mine has it.
Look, I'm telling you, my Pixel. If you can't duck it, you know what you can do. I duct tape that thing. It works just great.
Hey, well, I think to switch gears just a little bit. I think. I didn't know. I understand now why you were like, fuck that, because that makes a lot more sense. Because I actually agreed with the point. Yeah. I don't maybe agree with how it was said, but the point is, and we all know this. And this is another thing that I have a problem with Google. I love my Google Pixel phone. I love my Google Pixel Watch. Yeah. I've got Nest. I've had to mute my Nest devices because how many times I'm going to say. I'm actually, y'all are looking at me on the camera on my Pixel. That's what I'm streaming to you from. Yeah. So I don't have it in my hand, but I got a bunch of other fucking phones and iPads and it doesn't matter. But the point is, I really love a lot of things about my Pixel. My biggest issue is Google gives away more fucking phones than they sell, and they give them to people who are going to make that video, get those clicks, and they're going to put the Pixel in a fucking drawer. Yeah. And then they're going to say that later on down the road, while they're using their iPhone or whatever, they're going to say, oh, the buttons are falling off. It's a piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, the camera's busted. It's a piece of shit. So Google, in my opinion, if you're listening, Google, which I know you're not because whatever, but if somebody out there can figure out a way to get those phones into hands of people who are actually going to use them 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and make content that's delivered around it, I would appreciate that as a Pixel fan, as a Google fan from day one.
Lot of those, I think you're right. They do give away a lot of phones, but I know there's at least in my opinion, I have maybe 5 people I know that got that. It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
That they were part of Team Pixel that actually used that phone, and they continue.
It's a small percentage. It's a small percentage.
I mean, I'm one of those Pixel super fans, so they give me some stickers and a T-shirt once in a while.
Listen, listen. Whoa, Pixel super fan motherfuckers, listen here. I have since 2008. I bought the very first Android phone. I've owned every single Nexus phone. I've owned every single Pixel phone. I owned the Nexus 10. I owned the Nexus Q. I fucking helped build ROMs. I've done all. I've applied for Pixel fan or Pixel super fan. I don't even get a sticker. And it's like,
the super fan thing. Now you have to apply. When I joined,
I've applied.
When it first started, they sent me a random email because I was beta testing their Google Glass years ago, They sent me a random email saying, "Hey, do you want to be part of this super fans group?" I go, "Whatever. I love tech." That's how I got in. But now you actually have to like apply and stuff, and I don't know what their criteria is. I don't either. I'm part of like beta software testing sometimes, so maybe that's why.
Well, I got 2 pixels. I got 2 pixels, one to run stable and one to run beta. Right. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not salty about that. Whatever, it's fine. But my problem is that they give away more phones than they sell, and then the flip side of that pisses me off is that but they only have a market share of 2 to 3%. Like a global market. I think the last numbers I looked at too. Yep. Right. So we're giving away more phones than we're selling, and we have and then we have quality control issues. And I'm not talking about buttons falling off. I'm talking about sensor overheating, Pixel 6 issues, the issues I had to replace my 6A. I know a couple people on Twitter that had to have their Pixel 7 screens replaced from flickering, different quality control issues. And that's what scares me the most, because Google has this reputation for killing things off, right? So a lot of people don't want to go in full. I don't want to go on in all Nest because I'm afraid Nest may not be there next year. Or I don't want to play Stadia because Stadia is not going anywhere. The people at Stadia didn't even know it was going anywhere, and then it's gone. So then you have a hard time. Motherfucker, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. It's a great thing.
You know what else is bad is someone was posting on Twitter that the most resold phones and the Pixel 7 line was in the top 5 or something?
Top 5
sold used or something.
It
doesn't look good, but I don't know who's actually seeing this stuff. Who the hell? What general consumer is going to look up? Well, hey, I wonder what used phones sell the most. I don't.
You know what I think another big issue is with that. I think it's in top 5 because they give away more than they sell, and those people sell them.
Yeah.
I saw a whole kit, those black mirrored kits that they sent out to YouTubers. Yes. I saw those motherfuckers online for sale. Yeah. The whole shit. Yeah. You get the whole package. So they're sending off.
We know that Google's notorious for leaking their devices well and truly before
leaving them at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in San Francisco.
Look where they're at now. They are in a much better position than they were when they had the Pixel 1. I mean, the market share has grown. A bunch. Now 2 or 3% is not a lot, but they've grown percentage-wise pretty much. So maybe what they're doing is right. I don't know. I mean, if you look at anybody unboxes phones, every freaking cell phone company besides Apple at least that we know of, is giving out phones and saying, "Open this." I mean, did you watch Lou's Red Magic opening? They had like a freaking de-bombing code, and it was all. I'm like, where the hell? I want that. Send that to me.
Yeah. Right. No, that doesn't come. You got to have a certain threshold.
Oh, of course.
To get, and then that is and that's fine. And I'm not even worried about that. But there are people that I don't care about followers. I don't care if I make a video and 2 people enjoy it and I enjoyed it. I don't care. That's not the problem. The problem is I'm seeing people like they're posting gift from Google and they've got 27 followers and they use an iPhone. And I never see, and then I never see another fucking post about a Pixel from them. Yeah, I don't see a video, but they get a gift every year. They get a gift. How about give it to and I'm gonna just be honest. How about Google give it to Dalvon Digital, who's gonna make a fuckload of content, good content that's gonna go towards promoting the brand. That's gonna go towards Pixel enthusiasts. People are gonna watch it. They're gonna gravitate. Those are the type of people I want to see. Because they're good. He's gonna use it and he's gonna show what it's capable of doing. Now the guy who uses the iPhone is gonna go. The camera looks great. Oh, this is cool, guys. Enjoy it, and that's it. I can do that myself.
But you have those guys that are small and they're hashtag Team Pixel, and you have people jumping on saying, "Ooh, I want one. I want one. Hey, look at me, look at me." And then they're posting everything like Team Pixel, Team Super Fan, whatever.
Right.
I don't care. If I'm posting something, I'm going to hashtag it and add it, whatever, because that's what I'm
whatever it is. Galaxy, iPhone. Right.
Look, I'm not part of anything but super fans, and they don't send me shit anymore. They got so big, it's not really that.
Well, you know what's
rewarding
funny,
to us anymore.
Because I've worked a lot with Google in last year when the Pixel 7 was released. Right. So you may remember I got wrapped on the fingers by the Pixel release for releasing some photos from the Pixel 7 before the embargo ended. But my point is that here in Canada, I was asking about that because obviously in different countries they're operating differently. They don't have the Pixel Superfan. Here in Canada.
The UK gets fucked. Some of their biggest fans are in the UK and they get fucked. A lot of those people were getting screwed in India that were wanting to buy devices and they couldn't get their hands on them, and to import it cost too much. So there's definitely a demand there, and I'll agree with Big Tuna I'll agree with him on the fact that something that they're doing is working. It is working to a certain extent,
Right.
but where they've been at 3% top market share for the last couple of years, and they've released some amazing devices. So I think in order to move that up and even just take over the market share that was left behind from LG when they exited, I think what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to reinforce so that these updates are not going to break phones. My Pixel 7 was solid until January update came. The January update completely destroyed my Bluetooth. I couldn't connect to Android Auto. They escalated my ticket and still haven't responded. And then they rolled it back. And you know what they did? They never said a word.
Yeah.
There was no statement. It was just like,
whoops, we fucked up. Let's just make them disappear.
Yeah, we'll just throw it underneath the rug, and either you're going to deal with it or you're not. And there were people who sold their Pixel 7s and said, fuck this. I'm not going to deal with it. And now they may never buy a Pixel again. And now you've lost a little bit of that market share. Right. And bad press at 3% market share, bad word of mouth among techies at 3% market share is a lot worse than you have 60% market share for somebody else.
My fear is with the whole Pixel 9 through what Google's doing is that it used to be, the Pixel used to be synonymous with great camera quality. That's what people bought the phones for.
Right.
But now I almost feel like the narrative's changed a little bit where they've become synonymous with bugs. And, there's lots and lots of people who are complaining that, like things get broken every time there's an update. So it almost makes me wonder if they need to, I don't know, like reinvest in.
But isn't Apple having the same issue though? With their updates too?
Now they do, but you don't hear about it. Right?
Well, I mean, the Twitter circles we're in, I guess maybe I'm seeing it more. But
I mean, this is the thing.
I've seen it.
This is what I think it is, right?
But we're talking a huge market share versus a small market share.
You're right.
I expect if I sell 100 million, 100 million of this phone, there's going to be some issues. Yeah. I only sell 100 of these and have a bunch of issues. There's a problem.
Well, like this, the Red Magic. It's got bugs. Do you hear anybody complain about the Red Magic? Hell no, because no one bought it.
Right.
At least not enough people. I'm the only one in America.
I would have bought one if I wasn't for the one. Until you told me it was just the one update, I was all in. And then you said no, it's one update, and I was like,
yeah. So they're saying
one OS update.
Yeah, so 14 is like the but 2 to 3 years of security, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, and that's cool.
Mike, it's been sitting there for a bit. Hey, how are you, Mike?
I'm good.
Oh shit! I didn't even see you came in.
This case right here is awful.
That's the Samsung one?
The leather one, yeah. You can't really tell on camera, but
it was awful last year too.
You can kind of see. You see that spot down right there?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to point to it right there.
Yeah.
It's starting to white lines on it just from taking it in and out of my pocket.
Are you saying they struggle? I don't think that's true at all.
Are you saying that another major tech company can't
Wait a minute. Samsung Knights they're gonna step up and they're gonna come after your head with pitchforks.
Is really nice. Oh, and I fixed this case.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw you.
Yeah, but you can't.
Oh, is that the one that you clipped? You clipped the little thing.
Yeah, I clipped the corners right off in it, so it didn't press in my hand. I'm like, that's the way they sort of sold it. The problem is, even if you take off the adapter here or the kickstand, no wireless charging because it's too. The thing is too thick.
Yeah.
And then here's my other problem, and I get why they did this, but you have to open the kickstand to slide the thing up to remove it, which I get because they don't want it just coming off in your pocket, but they could have made it like press in and slide to remove. It's just, it's an okay case, but I don't know that I would pay it's like $70 for this case. Is the original price?
That. No, thank you.
If I didn't already have everything else on their website, I wouldn't have gotten cases. But it's like
you
use the credits or you lose them. So it's like
they are. But did you contact any sort of official support on that and say, hey,
DM them, call them out, DM them.
Apple. Samsung will clearly just be like, "Fuck you," and then fucking move away.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Did you reach out? Has anything been said or?
I haven't reached out yet because I mean the thing is with the leather one, it was like just today. So tomorrow I'm gonna message them and see, because I've had in the past where I've had issues with stuff and they've been like, hey, here's a credit, you can use it on anything, it doesn't expire.
Right. Yeah.
So then I'll just hold on to it.
Which isn't bad. It's better than nothing.
So I'll tell you a quick story. So earlier this week, you may have seen I got the Bellroy leather case for the S20.
I like Bellroy. I like their stuff.
Yeah, so it really they have really good stuff. But at the bottom of the case, and let me grab it. I got it right here. 1 second.
Yeah, that's one that I like. That I wouldn't have really known too much about them if it wasn't for the Pixel,
right here, right?
the Google Bellroy connection that they have.
So this on the case, I actually had to contact Bellroy. So I don't know if you can see up on camera here. I'll see if I can get it nice and close.
Let me see if I can get on my iPad. Yeah. Okay.
So
all right.
You can see here at the top edge, it's actually a plastic edge, and the leather kind of folds around the edges there.
Okay.
Right there. So I had to contact Bellroy because on the one that I have, the plastic actually sticks out further than the leather. So it creates like a weird lip right here. I don't know if you can catch that on camera. But
does that rub on the corner of your hand when you're holding it, or your thumb?
So when I was holding it in my hand like this, it's digging into my palms, the extra plastic, and so I'm like, that can't be right. Like that, surely they would have caught that in like whatever. Right. So Mike, just piggybacking off what you were saying there. So I contacted Bellroy, I sent him an email, and I'm like, look, I ordered this case. There seems to be a bit of an issue here. And I sent them photos, I sent them videos, etc. They got back to me, and the first guy got back to me was like, "Oh, well, we can offer you a 10% discount so you can buy another one."
What?
Yes, exactly. That was exactly the email. So I lost my fucking shit in the email.
I can offer you 10% of this ass whooping. Yeah. Where are you at, buddy?
Yeah.
What?
So I said to him, I said, 10%? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, obviously, there's got to be some kind of warranty with
How much was that case, by the way? How much was the retail?
$59, I think. Canadian.
$59. So they want to offer you a $6 discount on another one that you can get fucked on.
Yeah, so I lost my shit. I said to him, I said, look, dude, there's got to be some kind of warranty. It's brand new. Like, I haven't even fucking put it on the phone yet. I noticed this before I even put it on there. And he's like, oh, right. Okay, yeah, there is a warranty. And they reluctantly agreed to send another one. And they're like, please send the other one back so they can, check it out, whatever.
What I don't get is,
did they send you one and then you have to send the other one back, or you have to send it back first?
No, they sent a new one out first, and that's
cool. That's good.
That's good, because that would have been really shitty if they say we need to see that one first, and then.
Especially
what I don't get is
like for those of you that don't know, for those of you who are watching right now, if you're looking for a good case, Bellroy leather cases tend to be pretty good. I had one on
they do
7 Pro.
I had them picked both for both. Yeah, both pixels. Yep.
Yeah, so just go on. So there is good customer service out there, sure, you might have to send.
Well, and not only that, you get good customer service. There can be a bad customer service representative inside of a company that has good customer service, right? They can't keep control of everybody. So Big Tuna goes to work and he had a bad day. He got in an argument with somebody. He goes to work. And he says, "Oh, fuck your case. Here's 10%." Or whatever. That's something that a company can't control. But when you go through multiple different channels and you're getting the same shitty thing, that's when it becomes a problem. Is you're going, it's not one individual, it's a company-based problem now.
Yeah.
And OnePlus was actually one of the ones, if you guys remember, I think after OnePlus 3, it was, they had some real bad customer service issues, and they started. Like they were tanking as far as in the tech community, and they had to do a whole lot to pull their reputation out of the ground, which they did. I give them credit for that, but they were having some real bad issues. So a company can turn that around, and a company as big as Apple can turn that around like this. I mean, they can turn it around like that. I think the problem is one of the reasons that I don't like to go through the official channels like Bellroy. I don't like to buy it directly from them anymore. I like to go through Amazon or something, because then I can go to Amazon and I can say, hey, it doesn't matter if there's a defect or I don't like the shit. I can send it back. Yeah. Because when I hit up if I would have been you and I hit up Bellroy and they say, well, we can give you 10% off. No, fuck that. You can refund all my money and I can never do business with you again, or you can make it right. And but I can call up Amazon and I can say, hey, look, this didn't work for me. I don't have to talk to anybody. I hit a button and I drop it off at UPS and I get my money back as soon as they scan it and I'm done. So that's a problem, because let's be honest.
They gotta be careful, because if you call them on the phone and are bitching at them, they don't know if you're some big influencer who's gonna blow them up on Twitter. So they gotta be careful. When you DM them, they can go look at your follower count and say, fuck, this guy ain't nobody. But I hope they don't do that, and I would assume they wouldn't. But
I would assume they would. No, I'm just being honest. I like to play devil's advocate, but I would assume that somebody at Apple support, when they commented on my thing, said, this guy only has 400 followers. Who fuck him? and just left me alone.
Look at most employers. You apply for a job, they check all your social media to make sure you're not posting anything weird before they hire you. So I mean, if they can do it, I mean, it's the same issue anywhere you go. So
yeah, I agree with that.
And so you are that way. Like I have a monitor coming from Espresso Display.
Oh God!
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about monitors. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And
are we gonna get into what are we gonna get into the monitor that he got? Okay, go ahead, finish.
Sorry, Michael, finish. I'm sorry.
But
no.
The interesting thing is, they could easily look at my numbers and be like, this guy has 778 followers and 800 and some subscribers.
Yeah.
His videos aren't getting like 10,000 views or whatever, and be like, nope. But instead, I literally I made a funny joke, a pun on one of their tweets, and they're like, "Oh, that's funny. We'll be in touch." 2 minutes after I saw the notification from the tweet, "We'll be in touch," I had a DM. Then a few minutes later, I had an email asking for my shipping information, saying it's shipping out Monday.
Nice.
I'm like, that's a completely different reaction.
See, now that was you getting growth, and I've talked about this with Darren and Big Tuna in the Telegram chat. That was you getting growth, being your natural self and becoming organically growing. There are people out there that are looking for a home run. All they're swinging at is those big, fast pitches for a home run, and that's not always what's going to get you to where you go. I mean, I hate to throw it out there, but look at MKBHD. Look at his first video. It was fucking horrible. Yeah. Horrible. Right? He was little kid, didn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's tinkering around. Now he's, look who he is now. But anybody has the potential, not anybody, but most people have the potential to become something big. But if you start following and chasing the high, chasing the viewers, chasing the hot takes, just be yourself. You'll gradually gain people around you who will organically grow with you. I'd rather have 500 organic followers than 5 million stupid people who are just like, well, I only want to hear what he has to say about the Z Flip. That's all I care about is what he talks, and anything else. Because you get pigeon-toed in, and companies only want to work with you on certain products. Right. I want to be able to touch all of this tech and post about it honestly and be organic. And so you making a pun and being yourself and being Michael Pepper, there you go. Boom. Now that's organic growth. That's beautiful.
On the flip side of that is I had a company reach out to me, and they said they wanted to send me some stuff it's like a company that makes accessories for Wise cameras.
Oh yeah.
And I had purchased products from them in the past. It's funny, I'm laughing because the product was terrible. Like, it was horrible. And I blasted them on this video, and they reached out to me, and I responded back saying, well, here's some videos, not thinking about it. And then they ghosted me and never reached out to me again. Yeah. But the video was, the product was terrible. And it took me forever to get my money back. I mean, it took forever.
But they need to see that shit, though. If you put out a product and you want to
lie.
Right. You want to be a player in the game, make a good product. That's it.
You know what I want?
And listen to the feedback.
I want someone to send me a gaming machine and have FedEx really F it up on the way in. That way I can never even test it. That's what I really want.
That's what I want to hear about. That's what I want to hear about.
So wait, does that happen?
It did.
You're so lucky. You're so lucky.
Oh man, I wish that would happen to me.
I got sent. We're doing a write up on the best PC gaming systems, and Lenovo reached out and they said, hey, we think we've got some cool shit. We'll send it out to you. I'm like, cool. Set up the PC, get it all fucking hooked up. Go to grab the monitor out of the box. And I get, most of the time when shit gets delivered here, I just kind of pick it up and throw it in the basement, and I'll get to it when I get to it. Didn't even look at the box, not even one bit.
Right.
I've opened up the box of the monitor, didn't see on the underside of the box that there's a big fucking box cutting slit right across the bottom of it. Now, the way that the box was organized with this monitor, at the top, there's a little thing of like accessories, and then underneath was the monitor. The monitor happened to be on the fucking side where they've box cut across. And they're right across the screen, across the fucking screen, like a nice deep fucking cut. So I couldn't even turn it on. Like
I got a secret to tell you.
Yeah.
There's a guy on our chat who usually joins us on Thursdays. His name's Roddy.
Yeah.
He's kind of upset for all the jabs you've been laying at him, so he actually intercepted that package and did that to you. And he's not here to defend himself. So
right. We can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
I saw that picture. I saw that picture, and it was like when I watched that video. You remember that kid? It was a long time ago. He stood out in line for the Apple iPhone. He was the first guy to unbox it. And he unboxed it on camera, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
Right on the news. He first guy dropped. That's what I felt like when I was waiting to see your monitor, and I'm like, oh shit, that hurts my heart.
Yeah,
That
they're so
hurts my heart.
excited. Like if someone sent me, if someone sent me something, and I'd be so upset. Oh
man, that's a nice monitor too.
Yeah, and like right across the right here, I don't know if you can see. That's where.
Yeah, that's a big gash. Yeah.
Let me guess. The game PC had a 4090 in it. And
let's go this way.
52.
So I don't know if you can see, but that's the actual. That's the screen.
Right through the protector onto the screen. It must have had some sort of like that plastic binding that they put around boxes. Maybe they were cutting off those pieces.
No
that's crazy.
Like a pallet or something.
Yeah, like a pallet binding. They just.
Yeah.
But let me guess. That game PC was like, the i9 1300 with a 4090 and 64 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I've got another monitor I can use. It's not the end of the fucking world, but the problem is, like, when a company's sending it out as a kit, they want you to have all their shit, right? So, I mean, I emailed the photos to the company and I said, hey, you guys might want to talk to FedEx about them fucking up your package here.
That's what insurance is for and all that.
Right.
And, yeah. Are they have they gotten back to you? Are they gonna send you out another monitor? Are they
not yet. I mean, it's the weekend here, so I mean, I don't. Maybe tomorrow we'll see. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, look, the actual PC is fucking a rock star. It's amazing. It's not just fucking amazing looking, but it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, but how powerful do you need of a computer to watch OnlyFans? I mean, that's not.
I know. My OnlyFans is going to be amazing.
I'm going to put my OnlyFans information in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be an 8K, with 3D.
Well, I mean, I know Roddy, who's another one who joins us usually here. He shared his link to OnlyFans. I don't know what. I got into what I
like that. I like that. So you've had the Galaxy S23 in your hand for a couple of days, right?
Yes, correct.
And what are your initial reactions after a few days?
So it's good. It's very good. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at it. Now, look at this. So I didn't use the S22 Ultra. I didn't ever had it. So this is the first time I've had this shape, form factor, screen size, all of that. It's taken a little bit of getting used to. Like the size is pretty big. Like that's a big
bitch. That's a big bitch. Yeah, it is.
It's huge. Big to get in pockets, like all of that stuff. But as far as performance goes, like a lot of people have been talking about the battery. The battery's been a fucking rock star.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about the battery, and all I've seen is just absolutely solid. I saw an article somebody wrote and said it was only being held back by the battery and the camera, and everything I've seen is the complete opposite.
Yeah,
of people who are using it.
Good for me. It's been easily lasting 2 full days on like medium to high usage.
Well, I don't know if it's Samsung though. I mean, the Red Magic's got the Gen 2 in it as well. Yeah. And that battery life, I mean, I didn't exclusively use it for like 24 hours a day, but over my general usage, 3 days it was at 13%. The third day I woke up, I'm like, that's amazing. I've never had a
it's that Snapdragon Gen 2 chip, right? But even still, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever it's for the phone, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the cameras are like really fucking good. Like I mean, and listen, I've had the Pixel 7 Pro. I've got the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Right now, it's the best camera you can buy. And
I'm not. I've got the iPhone 14 Pro right here, and I'm not a huge fan of the camera. It's
Samsung
good.
Zoom is. Everyone says they don't use it, but when you have it and you can be confident in going up to 10x, even past that. I mean, the Pixel has great. What's they called? The Super Res Zoom or whatever. Yeah. It's really good.
It's good.
But it falls off pretty quickly after 20.
Well, what was it? It was the Galaxy S21 was the first big zoom camera, right? It was the 20. So I remember using the S21 Ultra and being like anything past like 15 is fucking just blurry bullshit. Yeah. It's cool. I can tell what it is, but now I'm looking at pictures. I don't know if you guys follow Direct Tech Pedar at all. Okay, so I like. Yeah, well, he's an iPhone and an Apple fan who got the Galaxy S23, and he's been posting Zoom. And I mean, literally, and another friend of mine I know in real life that has been sending me stuff, and he's sending me pictures like here. I can't barely see the car all the way across the thing, and he's zooming all the way in, and we're talking crystal clear license plate of the number that far out. That's impressive. It wasn't like that on the S21.
And even like the pictures of the moon, I know who doesn't do it that much, but when I had the S22 Ultra, I could zoom in, and the moon for some reason was blurry, but when I snapped it, it came out clear. On the Pixel, I can't get that damn thing to look clear ever on the Pixel. So I don't know what they're doing. I'm not saying Pixel 7 Pro by any means is a bad phone. It's still my favorite phone, but I don't have the S23 because Google Fi keeps playing with my shipping days.
Oh, we'll talk about Google Fi in a second because I'm right there. My buddy sent me this. Okay, this is on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. All right, you see those cars way back there behind the fence?
Yeah.
There's the zoom in on the license plate.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
What did Flossie call it? Flossie called the 22. He called it the creeper camera or something.
The creeper cam. Yeah. So, and I even texted him back, literally, Jesus Christ. Like, what? That's insane. I couldn't zoom in and see the license plate at all, like in the actual photo, you know, but when he zoomed in and popped that in, I mean, that right there is that's insane.
I've been pushing my IT department when in the position. I'm not gonna say where I work, but who I work for. That kind of zoom would be amazing for the work I do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they give us. I think we're running iPhone XRs right now, and it's fine. My battery life is like at 80% now. It's what 2, 3, 4 years old now. I mean, it's not that great.
The XR.
We had before that. We had Note 3s before that. And they switched to iPhone because it was more secure. They said,
"Yeah,
sure,
whatever."
Well, they must have watched the same commercial we all watched where they talked about privacy. Google Fi had the best deal out. Nobody could beat the Google Fi deal, and I ordered mine before you did. And
different color.
But I ordered black. I just thought everybody wants the other color, so I just got the black. Yeah. I'll take the black. It'll get here quicker. My date right now is March 3rd through the 6th. So what I did, I said, you know what? This is actually a really good opportunity. I went out and I got me one of the Flip 4s.
Yeah.
And man, I expected to really not like this phone. I had 2 folds. You know, I understand there's a big rah for the fold. Not for me. I found after a couple of weeks, it was more tedious for me. I have to open it up and really to get into my phone for small things. And I found myself using that skinny front screen a whole lot more for small things. And then it was cumbersome when I'm working to carry around. Is it cool when you're watching content and all of that? Yeah, it is. I'm not shitting on it. It's not where I want it to be yet. I want it lighter. I think for $2,000, it should have the S21 Ultra cams on it, or at least something, you know, better cameras. There's a few things that I think I'm just not willing to give up. So I got this just to play with. And this is day 3. I'm on day 4 with this phone. And I really did not expect it to much like this phone, let alone love it. I actually love it. They really have a lot of software that they've made for this that they just really nailed. And I think it's a very big sleeper that doesn't get talked about enough as far as foldables. And in my opinion, just my opinion, from having this foldable and having the fold, I personally, just me, people don't freak out everywhere, but I have my own opinions. I am more interested in a bigger phone that becomes a smaller phone than a tablet that becomes a big ass phone brick to carry around. This has been so nice to pop in my back pocket and to take around. It takes also they've updated the cameras a bunch of times. It takes good photos. It's not great photos, but it takes good photos. I've recorded good video. I just and you know what? Everywhere I go, and the first day I had it, 3 people at the grocery store were like, "What is that? What is that?" You know, and there is nothing like. I'm sorry, I'm old school. There's nothing like being like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" And then just slam the fucking phone shut. Nothing like that.
Hey,
so
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm gonna wait. So when I got mine, it said 21st, 22nd. Then it went to the 6th. Then it went back to the 24th, I think. And now it's the 27th.
It's jumping around.
Yeah. So I'm actually contemplating pre-ordering the Oppo N2 Flip, but I can't. I don't have a problem with doing it because it's the global version. So I'll at least get 4G on T-Mobile. I know that, and it'll have services. The conversion rate though, it's like $1,100, and it's hard for me to buy something. It's not going to be supported over here when I get it.
I got this for $400, and I got this for $450.
But
that's not bad.
2A, you should order on Amazon. That's why
the UK one, yeah.
Yeah, because at least you got the ability to return it then, right, within the 30 days. So
how does that work though? See, I've never.
If you buy, well, I don't know about the UK one. I assume Amazon UK might be a little different, but Amazon. So I actually bought this in excellent condition, renewed for $450, and on Amazon, I have 90 days to return this, whether I like for no reason. If I don't like it on 89 days, I just send it back and get my money back. So I said, hey, let me try it out.
But Amazon UK says they will ship to the US, so I would assume I have the same guarantees. But I'm saying if I have it in my hand and I'm like, I don't like this phone, I'm going to take it to my local Kohl's because they have that return at Kohl's.
Right.
And I wonder if they will take it and ship it to the UK or just go to the Amazon here.
So like the way that it works normally, so basically your 30-day return window starts from the day that you receive it.
Yep.
And then basically, it's kind of very similar. I think they just ship you. It's like a shipping label, but it's just an international shipping label.
So you're telling me I should buy it? Is what you're telling me?
I would say message, because with Amazon's easy. You can message their customer service. Takes a couple minutes. I would just say, hey, if I want to do this, what's the return policy on this? I don't want to get screwed because of international. And then if they say, fuck it, go for it.
It works out to be $1,300 and change Canadian. So
it was like $1,140, but every day it changes because the rates change so much. So I'm waiting for it to go below that, and then I saw on eBay they had it, but I don't like buying pre-order something on someone through eBay. I can't do that. Amazon, I know I'll get it, and it's
never a good idea.
eBay Chinese version either. I don't want to
eBay and PayPal. To me, it's like because the PayPal is almost set up for you to fucking lose. It's like
I've never lost. Everyone complains about PayPal. I've never lost a dispute with PayPal ever. When I was big in eBay,
a few times through eBay, like people saying that fucking what was
they get it
was not there, like all that. I've fought it a few times actually. Like there was one incident where I'd sold a phone to somebody in the States, and they filed a claim saying that Customs had confiscated it, and they sent me a screenshot of a letter that apparently Customs had written them saying that the phone had been confiscated. And I'm like, that's some fucking bullshit. So I took the letter.
Even if it did, you don't work for Customs, and you have nothing to do with that.
Well, no. So PayPal ruled in their favor. So did eBay.
Were you living in Canada at the time?
Say that again, sorry.
Were you living in Canada at the time?
I was living in Canada at the time.
So you shouldn't use drugs as the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
As the packaging, like keep it safe. Like the bubble
wrap.
Well,
it was it was laced in cocaine, but I mean that's beside the point. Just the whole thought that someone can, and it turned out it was some fucking standard letter that was on Google. You could download it, and it wasn't even the box I sent it in. That was the best part.
I had a guy do that with me with an iPhone. Actually, it was an iPhone XR. You just lost video.
Yeah,
I don't know what the heck.
I expected that to happen.
Okay. Well, I had a guy do that with an iPhone.
Here we go.
I had a guy with the iPhone actually XR and sold it to him, and I videoed me packing it up and sent it to him and everything. And he said that he opened an empty box. And it was a huge thing. And he was down in Miami, and I was in Atlanta. And, I'm a truck driver, so I went to fucking Miami. He had a shop, and I went in the shop and found the fucking phone, and literally was like videotaping him on. And I was like, "What? Why'd you try to steal my phone, dude? Like, what's the deal here?" And I was like, "Listen, two things are gonna happen." He's like, "Well, I'll call the cops." I'm like, "By the time they get here, I will have beat the shit out of you. I will." So I'm being honest. I said, "You got two options. I can beat your ass and leave with my phone." And because it's mine, you never got it, right? Yeah. So, or two, while I'm standing here, you can let eBay know you're full of shit and drop the claim. It's up to you, whatever you want to do.
I've never had issues before. I sold a guy a Google Pixel 1, I think, or the 2, to a guy in South Korea on eBay. The dude reached out to me and said, "Hey, it's still." I must have didn't log out completely. I literally video chatted with him through Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
He couldn't speak
I miss Hangouts.
He didn't speak any English. It translate and everything. And I logged him in, and as immediately as I gave him my password, I went back on Google and changed mine. Yeah. And he was 100% happy. I was not going to get that pay for that guy to ship back to South Korea.
No, that's exactly right.
Hell no.
Yeah, no. Google Hangouts, by the way. Tell me, am I wrong? Google Hangouts in 2023 would be fucking perfect. Like, it would nail like all aspects of what we need from all these different devices. I mean, and yeah.
It's funny
about Google
how,
Allo?
like, some of the best things they do that Google does, like we said, right? Just fucking run to the ground, you know?
Yeah.
And they used to integrate and allow you to do this in YouTube via Google Hangouts as well. And now they removed it, so you don't have like any direct messaging through YouTube. You don't have you can do multiple hosts, but it can only be 2 at a time, and the other person has to have a YouTube channel. And it's all that stuff, and it's like, so you can't just have anybody on, and then with that, there's no, like, I don't know, I would rather just use like a screen capture software and then just like FaceTime with people or Google Duo or whatever you're going to do and bring it in that way. Because I've seen people do that where they'll use like Google Duo and bring it in and just capture their screen rather than paying like for a service to do it. Sometimes that's
Google Hangouts had it. I mean, any iPhone, Android, laptop, computer, tablet, YouTube, we could have done.
Duo,
right, but right, well, whatever they're going to call it this week. But you actually you just actually, Michael Pepper just actually reminded me of something. I have been going around and around a little bit with this idea for a while now, and so as a tech person who uses an iPhone and multiple Android devices, one of the hooks of the iPhone and iOS experience is iMessage. Nobody talks about the fact that Apple fucking punishes you if you try to leave. They take your group chats. I have not turned this iPhone. iMessage has been turned off. I have not turned this iPhone on in almost a week. My group messages are still being held hostage. Even people that I've talked to that have turned it back to SMS, Apple has turned iMessage back on. It is off on my iPads. I've called. It's off. But they want to punish me. So I have decided that no matter what, even when I use an iPhone or whatever, I'm never going to use iMessage again. I've decided that's it. So I'm not going to use iMessage.
Have you ever watched Seinfeld?
Every single episode 100 times.
Apple's like the soup Nazi.
He's 100%. No soup for me. That's it. But that's the thing that that's one of the reasons why maybe never. I don't want to say never, but I don't think that I could ever just lock in with Apple because of the fact that it is so restrictive. And the shit that pisses me off, everybody says, well, Apple shouldn't care about RCS. Well, yes, it should, because you want to have the best experience for your customer as well. Fuck Android, right? If you were talking strictly from an Apple standpoint, as Apple consumer, fuck Android. Don't do it for Android users. Do it for iPhone users, because I promise you, talk to anybody who has an iPhone user or a bunch of iPhone users has one Android person in their chat. They'll say, oh, this guy ruins our chats. The pictures look like shit. It's all blurry. It ain't him. It's Apple doing that shit.
And but RCS is not Android. It's not their issue.
It's not. But what the Apple elitist problem is that Google owns lots of servers for RCS. But there are also carrier services for RCS, and Apple could make their own and make money off of it, and it would provide a better experience for their own customers. But they have the best marketing team ever, that they literally have Apple iPhone users believing that RCS is bad for the iPhone. Just use iMessage.
It's kind of funny, like when you say
buy your grandma a phone.
Buy your mom an iPhone. Go fuck yourself, Tim Cock.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like,
I think so with that,
Apple users especially can just overlook so much. Like, there's just so much shit that they just buy blindlessly that's being marketed to them, right? Like,
you know why? They don't have a choice. They're locked in. Whatever Apple feeds them, they have to buy. And I'm not trying to be mean.
Right.
Apple makes
but
products,
it's true.
But I'm on the outside. Like when I first started in the cell phone business, it was, freaking Sprint crap.
2 tin cans and a piece of string.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that. No. But, with Android, we had options. There's other things. And it came out as we're open, we're free, do what you want. Apple came in and revolutionized everything. They were the first to the market with this touchscreen. But they locked you in, and they're doing the reason why I did that is because they're making money off of it, and they're making buttloads of money off it. So by them conceding, which they already have conceded some things, and Michael, I'm sure you've talked about before, they've conceded some things recently, but the most of those things they concede are things people don't give a shit about. RCS is a big deal for a lot of people, and I'd be
everybody. It affects both sides of the coin.
You know, my whole
have a
family,
question.
my whole family, myself and my wife, and we all use Android devices. My parents, my brothers, my wife's family all uses iPhone. So they're like, well, how are we going to video chat with you? Yeah, download Google Duo. How hard is this? It's not that hard. It's an app.
Yeah.
But they don't understand. It's
but
like,
it is for an iPhone user because Apple has given them it's the best. Now I literally just had somebody post a post, and I'm not going to call them out by their name because it's pointless. They're an Apple.
It's me. I'm right here. Jesus.
Apple could literally shit in their mouth, and he'd say, "This is the best shit I've ever tasted." But
nice.
But there's people like that. There are Samsung fans like that, Google fans like that. Doesn't matter what it is, they're going to defend it even when it's shitty and it's anti-consumer. Right. I'm just not that guy. When the Pixel pisses me off, I put it down. I picked up a Galaxy. When Galaxy pisses me off, I'll grab an iPhone. When the iPhone pisses me off, I'll do this. So I'm different. I'm not like everybody, and I get that. But he literally said in a post, he made a long post about how the iPhone 14 Pro Max is the best phone on the market, but then literally said in the post, and I retweeted it, and you can go see it on my Twitter, and I said, I asked him to explain to me because they said that the camera is not meant to be the best. And I said, well, hold on, wait. Can you explain that to me? Because I watched the marketing, and it made it seem like it was the best thing that was ever fucking made. The brand new, the only phone ever, and the newest, biggest, best iPhone to do raw pictures. I mean, their marketing. It's like they invented everything. But he said to me, or to the Twitterverse, that it is not meant to be the best camera. I said, can you explain it to me? Of course, he couldn't explain it to me. But that's the consumer thought process. When they buy it, right, they sell it and market it as the best, and then they get it, and maybe if they're on Twitter and they're a little bit plugged in, they realize the Pixel takes better pictures, or this takes better pictures, or whatever. So then they make excuses. Well, it's solid. Yeah, it is. It takes good pictures. It does, right? But that doesn't mean that it can't be better.
No,
well,
right.
In fact, I would go as far as to say the 14 Pro camera is worse than the 13 Pro camera.
Yeah,
I agree.
In my opinion. Right? But when they were on stage clapping, motherfuckers, woo! It's the best camera on an iPhone ever. Then the fan tells me it wasn't meant to be the best camera ever. Well, which is it? Because the marketing clearly stated it was. You realize that that's bullshit. And instead of calling that company out and saying, hey, you fucking people lied to me and told me a bill of goods, they go, well, it really isn't supposed to be the best camera. That's just a marketing jumbo. No,
I thought the 12 Pro Max was better than the fucking 30.
You guys are all wrong. It's the best camera system. Come on. You heard
don't even get me fucking started.
You reminded me of another fucking guy, Mr. Who's the Boss. So there's a lot of bullshit that comes out of his mouth, but there was one thing that he said with the release of the new iPhone, and he said that there's a very clear trajectory that Apple has with how they're going to release these next few iPhones. And it's starting to become clearer and clearer to me personally too. First of all, they're introducing this fucking dynamic island. They're not gonna
worthless. I'm sorry. I bought the phone. I'm the chump that went out and bought this fucking phone.
You're wrong.
Because I thought that the dynamic island was actually going to be super dope. And you know what?
Yeah.
I own an island right now. What are you talking about? I'm an island owner. I'm a billionaire.
It's the cheapest island I've ever bought.
You know what pisses me off about the dynamic island is that it's so underutilized.
It could be so good. It could be so good.
It could be amazing. You could have text messages pop up there. Fucking all the apps should have support.
But that's the problem with the Apple overall. What they want to sell you is the first dynamic island. Yeah. And now next year is going to be the new and improved dynamic island where you can use.
Yeah. Right. But in the meantime, Android's going to release a bunch of knockoffs that do a hell of a lot more. Yeah. And all the people are going to say is, oh, they copied. Which they did, I guess.
Well, what did Steve Jobs say? What did he say about stealing? What's the quote? What's the quote about stealing? Real good. I don't know. Whatever. He said something. Steve Jobs quote on. Oh, I know, but he said, hold on. Because this plays right into Steve Jobs
marketing machine,
stealing quote. Here we go. This is what Steve Jobs himself said about stealing, and so this goes into
King, the wealth of knowledge, right here.
I'm telling you.
Good artist.
Okay, here we go. What is it?
It's like good artist copy, but a great artist steal.
Great artist steal. That's
Right.
exactly. I was exactly. I just pulled it up.
I was
Good.
waiting. I knew what the quote was, but I was just wondering how long you would sit there.
I was like, well, because I get on a roll and I'm like, but yeah, great artist steal. So you know what? Apple's stolen a whole fucking fuckload from Android, and Android's stolen a fuckload
tons of money.
Right, and they've stolen a fuckload. Android's stolen a fuckload of stuff. It happens, but you know what? It's good for the consumer because if you can take something and you can make it a little bit better, and that makes Samsung make it a little bit better, and the Google makes it a little bit better, we all win. So I don't have a problem.
The way the business is set up, Apple's gonna be they're the only ones that make Apple devices.
Yeah.
If Samsung was the only one that made Android devices, it'd be Android versus or Samsung versus Apple. But that's not the way it is.
It's not.
Unfortunately, Android. Go ahead.
If you think of competition, right? In order to compete, you have to take something that already exists and improve upon it. Like, for example, if you and I were to compete in baseball, you wouldn't show up with a basketball and basketball shorts on while I'm there prepared with baseball, right? We're not competing against each other.
It's
so the realistic aspect is, in order to compete, you have to be in the same thing. So really, there has to be some sort of copying in a way, in the essence of the term of competition. But what's funny to me is, that person you were talking about, that Apple user, I know what they were trying to say. They just couldn't come up with the words.
But see, that was my point. My point was I agree with what they're saying in a sense, in a sense, but they relate it horribly. It's a bad mess.
Couldn't be eloquent. That fucking
but the thing is, they wrote it out like it was eloquent. So I'm reading it. It's like, do you ever watch the movie Idiocracy? I'm reading it going,
oh my god,
you fucking asshole! What are you doing
that way? We're going that way right now. What are you talking about?
We are.
Or you can watch Wall-E from Disney. It's the same damn thing.
Michael Pepper's right. He's right though. It's the Coca-Cola. It's the Coca-Cola Pepsi. That's what you're talking about. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Where Apple struggles, right, in a way, and the difference in how and kind of when you're the only one creating a limited number of devices versus like the whole of Android or the whole of Windows machines or the whole of is you can the way you have to do things is you're either going to create a product that does everything, so then it's overkill for a ton of your consumers.
Yeah.
Or a product that does what the minimum set of consumers needs, and then it's going to be underpowered for some. So Apple's thing realistically is, and this is the way I phrased it is, and I'm not, being an excuse, I could obviously Fold, S22, I use all devices from them, is the idea of their focus is to try to create a product that does for their direction of their target consumer what they're needing. So not like the super zooms and stuff like that. That's more of the niche. Where Samsung can do that because they also sell the A14 at the extreme opposite end.
Right.
Where they sell,
I agree with you. I agree with you, but
they keep their older devices around, I think, for the basic consumers. And then, the Pro and Pro Max is where they're experimenting and seeing like, okay, how much further do we need to go? How much further do we need to go?
They ain't experimenting. Come on.
I was gonna say I disagree with that because I think the problem is that Apple plays it way too fucking safe. There is no experimentation. They just it's very minimal updates because you know what? They already know most people are gonna go in, they're gonna finance their phone from their carrier, and they're gonna say, I have no fucking idea what this phone does compared to this phone, but that's the new iPhone, right? And that can hand them a fucking iPhone 12, and they go, yeah, it's lighter, it's newer.
Who's that? Who's that?
It's the Jimmy.
The Jimmy Kimmel
thing.
Yeah.
I was about to say it. They literally go out, they take the newest iPhone, and they give it to the person. Then they take an older iPhone and give it to the person. Say, here's the new one, and they go, oh, it's so much lighter. I can tell it's faster.
Here's my iPhone 12. And here's the new iPhone 14. Isn't this great?
Yeah. Right. And they give you the same fucking phone, and then the people don't know, but it's the marketing. They're marketing. I'm not even mad at their marketing. Their marketing's fucking amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
And that's the whole point. Apple might be a-holes in some respects. Delvon went in on it last week, how much he hated some of their practices. but they know what they're
I
doing.
wish I'd have been here. I had my boxing gloves too. I'm fucking so pissed off at Apple right now.
He was, it was good, but but Apple, like they're making tons of money, and they're going to keep doing that until something gets disrupted. Apple was almost bankrupt with Windows years ago. I think I read an article years ago that Bill Gates actually bailed them out years ago.
Yeah,
maybe he shouldn't have, but they did.
Maybe he shouldn't have. Yeah.
But they are where they
are. See, here's why they had to do that, though. So it was 1996, 1997, when the PepsiCo CEO was in charge of Apple, right? And Steve Jobs was gone, and he was working for Next Computer Company. And actually, that was when he created what later we know as the iPad. Literally back in like the 80s, and actually it was conceptualized back in the 70s, and like even the Apple Pencil and the handwriting recognition that is used by like Samsung and Microsoft and stuff was actually all under that. The big hello that shows up on the iMacs was Steve Jobs' signature on the next tablet and all that. And so you're talking then, we'll turn 5 years after that, in about 2000, 2001, I can't remember the exact, was when Microsoft actually was taken to court and lost an antitrust lawsuit. But then it turned out that the judge had a bias where they should have lost, but because the judge admitted a bias, the case got kicked out.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, Google still, Microsoft still should have had to pay the billions of dollars and fix some stuff from the antitrust, but because the judge basically came out and said some stupid stuff, it gets the case kicked. Where we've seen this happens all the time, right?
Right.
The defendant or whatever in a case should be punished, but the judge says something stupid, so it gets tossed. I mean, I guarantee Tuna has probably seen that happen with stuff. And
right.
No, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
$150 million.
Our justice system's amazing.
And the crazy funny thing
whoa.
is that
you mean the criminal injustice system, right? You know how many times I hear that every day?
The competition was necessary, and who was their greatest competition at the time was Apple.
Right.
So they bailed them out, and they said, you know what, we are gonna. Well, not to mention that Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, even though they acted like they hated each other, they were in such like-mindedness in ways that, I mean, they didn't know how to create the tech, but they knew what they wanted. They knew who to hire. Like, if you think about Bill Gates, he wasn't really a genius. Neither was Steve Jobs in the essence of, like, I know how to code, I know how to develop hardware, I know the engineer. Yeah. You hire the people to do that.
Yeah, but I am a genius because I bought an island. Island.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a dumbass because I bought an island and it's fucking worthless. I'm sorry.
You bought a really crappy Apple band. That's why you're not.
I'm stranded on the island with my band.
That I've seen is the third-party companies that are taking advantage of doing some cool stuff with like live widgets and the dynamic island and stuff. And we've seen this in the past, where jailbreak were implemented and then Apple fully implemented. And so
they bring a couple of those in.
We're gonna see, we're already on the note of like we see so many issues right with iOS with stuff when Apple brings in stuff too quickly.
Yeah,
and we're seeing that right now. iOS 16 brought in a lot of stuff. They implemented SharePlay. FaceTime links were implemented. Not too long. They're doing all this stuff at once that all the users are asking for. And
were people asking for that?
Bugs. I think that's the bugs though. Like the features that they're trying to bring in to help day-to-day tasks. Being able to I can show my parents how to do something on their phone via sharing the screen. People wanted a native way to just show and teach people, and that's kind of the idea. Or like sharing their media when they're not at home and doing certain features. But the problem is when you do too much at once, you introduce bugs. And I'm hoping, I feel like if they would have done some of the stuff with Dynamic Island right now, it would actually be a lot worse of a situation.
They're trying to rush out
well, I don't know. You got third party devs that are doing it with no backing at all and that are making it work well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So
look, the best one I've seen on the Dynamic Island is the Uber app, like it telling you how far your ride is away.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Google just implemented some stuff on the Dynamic Island, I think, with maps. So I think one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you guys use Reddit or anything, but there's an app called is it Waze? Well, Google
Waze
owns
has
Waze, whatever.
for their maps too.
But Apollo is a Reddit app, and they've got a little fucking animal that lives up there, and you can feed them while you're scrolling. And I don't give a shit. What was the old Kimachis or whatever they were called?
Crazy. But Dynamic, just stick with me on this one. You remember those old fucking pens you used to get where you turned it upside down and the girl's clothes would slowly fall away?
No.
I want them to put a fucking image in the Dynamic Island, and when you use the accelerometer, the fucking thing slowly. I'm telling you,
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Right there.
You need to listen. If you need funding, I will go 50-50. I guarantee you, we can sell 1 million of them for $1.
Oh, honestly,
easily. I honestly feel like that's a winner right there.
That is a winner.
Here's what they need to do. They need to implement.
Darren, how's that Pornhub integration with Dynamic Hub?
Yeah,
Dynamic Island.
Yeah, you know they keep having this bar. I think it's like how much your cock's growing. Mine always stays like down the end. I don't know what's going on. It's broken.
Oh yeah, of course. It's always broken, huh?
the easy solution. One thing I think they should do is iOS 7, where they had the multitasking, where you double click the home button and you could see your current apps, and then you swipe to the side to get to your multimedia.
Yeah.
Why not just put that in Dynamic Island? They already have the code for it way back then.
It's already in. Well, because you know why? They're going to reinvent it. They're going to call it something else next year on the new one. When they sell you the next phone.
When they invent the new USB Type-C
cable. Listen, hold on. Now they're talking about this MFI certified only shit. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Well, listen, take your Apple polished cloth. I'm going to spit in your face and you can wipe it right off, because I'm not buying any of those cords. I'd rather you, honestly, I mean this, maybe I'm in the minority. I'd rather you make a portless phone than sell me a $40 USB-C cord that only works with an iPhone because you've got some blocker in there and I can't use every other cord.
They're not going to give you a US. They're not going to give you any general. They're not going to give you any universal connector or any universal anything without their spin on it. Then don't. Right.
Then don't do it.
I'm actually surprised that Apple isn't going just MagSafe.
They will
say fuck you to Android.
Not fast enough yet.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing. They just announced earlier that they're going to start bringing MagSafe to Android, so does it even matter? I mean,
MagSafe is like RCS. It's a universal thing. It's not an Apple
right.
thing.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying.
So Android will embrace MagSafe, but they will.
Would it even matter long term? I mean, I think honestly, I would prefer that to go that way because then. Android's bringing it in. I mean, it brings it into the same vein as like Matter for home integration, where I want to be able to use these interchange. I have a MagSafe wallet. I want to be able to use it on my Android or my iPhone when I leave. I want to be able to use these things.
Yeah.
Qi 2, it's at least a standardization, because right now, Qi chargers can be anywhere from 5 watts to whatever they want to be, and there's no alignment. I mean, MagSafe is genius because it's not necessarily doing anything new on the charging, but if you have an MFI certified, an actual MagSafe compatible, not just works with MagSafe,
which you pay for, by the way, they pay for that.
And it's Apple, and it's I think Belkin is the only one that does the full 15 watt. If I remember the full 15.
No, there's an anchor. There's an anchor stand that flips open, and so like you put your AirPods here, and it flips open. That's capable of doing 15 watts. But those are the only 3: Belkin, one anchor, and then the Apple.
But the thing is, now that it will be a full-on open standard, then there won't be that licensing the same way, because it's Qi 2, so Apple can't say like you got to pay us. It's now a set standard for all of them. It's the same kind of idea, like. It'd be like trying to say, well, you got to pay us to use what? Oh no, I'm not going to say it, because now Apple's going to get an idea. You're going to pay us for licensing for like some proprietary Wi-Fi or something. But I don't see them going full wireless, because the real
they can't make
issue is
enough money off it.
Well,
Yeah.
and they can't guarantee what your home
Exactly
Wi-Fi
right.
network is going to be, which is what the implementation of like AirDrop and AirPlay is
Which, by the way, my
gonna create lag and
AirDrop
stuff depending
works.
on your
My
network.
AirDrop works when it wants to. I have such a hard time half the time. It either works perfect or I can't get it to work at all. It's one or the other. It's like 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
You know, and when it doesn't work, I can't figure it out. My iPhone, I literally touch my iPhone and my iPhone and my iPad together, try to make them have sex, and nothing happens. I can't get the file across.
That's how
And
the
then sometimes,
AirPods were born.
yeah, that's how the AirPods. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm for whatever's good for the consumer. Not the Apple's going to make their money. Look, regardless of whatever, I understand that the reason they didn't want to let go of Lightning is because it's something that was proprietary for them. They can sell the MFI standard. They can make sure that they're selling you cords. We all know that taking the charging box out had nothing to do with the environment. They're not Captain fucking America. It was so that they could sell you a charging box separately, which, by the way, I would argue caused worse implications for the environment because you had more packaging, more shipping, more emissions to be delivered. But whatever, what do I know? But it comes down to the almighty dollar, and I can see Apple going, hey, if we're being forced to do something we don't want to do to go USB-C, we're going to do it. We're going to do it the way we fucking want to do it. And it's USB-C, but it's only on our standard of USB-C, and they'll reinvent the USB-C port. It'll be amazing. The fastest speeds on an iPhone.
Fastest charging iPhone ever. Okay,
right.
Fucking words.
20 watts. 20 watts.
Yeah.
18 watts. 18 watts.
18.5. 18.5.
Of course, it can't be a standard. And I posted something on Twitter, like, what's it going to be called? And no one really responded too much, but
so
it'd be interesting if they're going to call it.
I'm going to call it the slut slot. That's what I'm gonna.
Well, that might not be PC enough for Apple, but hey.
I don't know. I'm saying just take it way left. Yeah.
The funny thing is, if you think about when they're developing hardware, it's always like, for example, the iPhone 14 was probably being worked on 2 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
They're always working way ahead of time. So one of the things that I was discussing with somebody, and I was like, consider this. USB-C was announced, it was announced in like 2012, but it didn't really fully come out to like about 2014. And then it was 2019 where it was fully standardized as far as like requiring certain transmission speeds. Originally, it was just a change in port. It didn't, and then it was about 2 years after the first one came out, they added USB 3.2 speeds. They added support for video and audio transmission, but it wasn't until 2020 that a full-on standard was developed in USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4, which requires the 40 gig transfer speeds, the resolution speeds, and all that. So, while Apple's behind, at least it's standardized now. Like the annoying.
Yeah, but all these other Android and other companies have been putting USB-C for years. I don't care about.
But not even just Android. Not even just Android. Pick up any Pro device that's not the iPhone, and it's got a fucking it's got a USB-C port. The Pro, come on, man! Like that's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I mean, the cheapest accessory out there, like, is USB-C.
If you were still selling me an iPad Pro with a Lightning port and an iPad Mini with an iPad port and everything that you had was Lightning port, I wouldn't be so, hey, what the fuck? But every Pro device you sell, besides the iPhone, I mean, literally has the USB-C port on it. So stop fucking around with me. Come on,
we can talk about development for 10 years.
Part of the whole Lightning thing, though, that's interesting is. And I believe this is the truth behind it, and there's been some discussion, is Apple made an agreement with the accessories manufacturers to keep for at least 10 years, that they would keep the Lightning port around. And I agree. I wholeheartedly believe that like Belkin and others may have even paid Apple to keep the Lightning port because they make tons of money on it. I mean, think of companies
has it not been 10 years?
Lightning port.
Has it not been 10 years?
Hey, we're just on the 11th year now. So, so there's I wholeheartedly believe there might have been some sort of, I guess you would say, collusion to
and I know that
a certain
this
port
stream is
because these companies make huge money on that.
and I know this game is going on for a long, long time. I don't know how much longer it's going to go, but the other issue with Apple is, they have this thing about this Apple Watch ban that's coming up. There's this patent infringement thing going on, and I read an article where lobbyists, they're just paying lobbyists after lobbyists in the U.S. so that way they can kind of grant their way into whatever they want. It's like when you're a $1 trillion company, who gives a you can do whatever the hell you want. You can infringe on every patent in the world. Just buy the company or pay lobbyists, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And it's not just Apple. I don't mean preference that by saying it's not just Apple.
They're just one of the biggest ones to be able to do it.
Spotlight.
Right.
Look at Sonos and Google. Sonos and Google have been fighting for years.
Amazon and Google and Microsoft and Facebook. So Amazon and Facebook spent nearly 20 million from the numbers we see. It's about double of what Apple spends on their thing, and it's funny to see because they all do lobbying. They all do it for different reasons. They all do.
They all.
I lobby.
Amazon's like, we're gonna lobby because we don't want you to nix our things we're trying to do with cloud and data collection. Google's like, well, we don't want you to affect content creation and some of the bills that are coming forward, like the whole 230 Act and some of this stuff. So they lobby and what's funny is we see this in the past, and I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. So Apple will lobby just long enough to prevent being banned, and then they'll buy the rights to whatever is going to.
Of course,
so they'll step out and they'll say like, here's $200 million to your company. We're making a shit ton of money. We're just going to buy the rights. So
right.
I mean, they kind of do the right thing in the end. They lobby to prevent it so that they don't get sued, and then they buy them. And
it's like Google and Sonos. It's like
Google
just buy Sonos. Just buy Sonos.
Right, just buy Sonos and include it. Right, it was all perfect, and then they fucked it up, and then all you had to do just acquire it and keep it in house.
Google says, "Hey, we'll give you $1 billion." That Sonos wouldn't be okay. Here we go.
They give how many billions of dollars just to be the search engine on the Apple iPhone?
Yeah.
Like you can't buy one for $1 billion. It was like when Samsung bought Hardin Carmen. When they bought the Hardin Carmen speaker company and started doing that with the AKG tune and the whole shit. Just buy the motherfucker. You got enough money, implement it, and do a good job with it and make it work, and the consumer wins. But they want to go.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up. I'm off tomorrow because it's President's Day here, whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna call Sonos and I'll make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah.
I'm Italian, so that might work for my.
I'm Italian also.
Yeah.
Tell them I got your back.
And we'll make them an offer they can't refuse.
They can't refuse.
Yeah. I mean, Google Nest, Amazon buying Ring, Google with Waze, like all these companies
they bought Ring.
Because they
Ring and Blink.
Buy them out.
They buy them out.
I'm gonna go now and bitch out Apple on King Sober's behalf here, and
appreciate that.
I'll send him a picture of just a fucking random dirty fucking watch band and be like, look, it's happening to me too. The more people that do it.
I appreciate it. I just before we end, I want to say one thing, and I really mean this. And I said it on Twitter, and people got all pissed off. But I really believe that Apple is in their too big to lose phase. I think a lot of I can literally go on and Twitter and I can make a tweet where I can tag 10 people that I know that use Android and iPhone and have recently gone into the store and got shitty service who went to Best Buy instead and got better service, which is terrible. That's terrible because Best Buy, come on. Anyway, And so I think that they're slipping on these certain things. And what I'd like to say is that at this point in time, I think that this is the best opportunity that Samsung is ever going to have to take a shot at the throne, to try to because Apple's got their mobile ecosystem. If Samsung can make the Galaxy S3, get it in more people's hands, and continue to build off that, they have the larger ecosystem, make it all cohesive, and provide good customer service support channels with having an in-store presence in Best Buy. If they can combine that and they do it the right way, they have a shot at taking on Apple, and I would love to see that. Just from a consumer standpoint, have somebody come in and say, "Hold on, wait a minute, you're not as big as you fucking think. Hold on," because I know people right now who are literally looking to sell their iPhone 14. They're looking to sell their Apple Watches. They're looking to sell because they've had some bad experiences or whatever. Hey, I've got a package deal right now. I've got a package deal on Twitter. It's pinned on my Twitter at King Sober. I'm selling the Apple Watch Ultra with the iPhone 14 Pro covered in glass with the Enzo case right there from Spigen, $150, and I'm going to throw in the Apple AirPods Pro Gen 1 or 2, I don't know, whatever they are. But I make you a hell of a deal. But my point is, I think that they are starting to let a lot of things slip through the cracks. That happens when you get too big. And this is the perfect time for Samsung to take a shot. And I think the Galaxy S23 series can take them to the next level. Is it mind-blowing new things? No, but it's they polished what was already good. And if they can continue to work on that and provide good customer service and an in-store presence with Best Buy or whatever, even though it's a smaller presence, it's something. Because you can't walk into a Google store. You can't. You don't have to.
Samsung should have what they should have done is when Sears started closing all their stores, and then when Macy's started closing theirs, just bought the
buy one of them
and moved into there.
I would have loved that, because what you could do is you could have set up a whole Samsung home experience where you walk in, TV, you've got dishwasher, refrigerator, watch, not just mobile, and you see how it all works together. And that was the one thing that I really was upset about their event, because they only touched on it a little bit. That event should have been twice as long, and half of it should have been ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
whole
ecosystem.
Because you like the OnePlus event better. That's why. You were jealous.
I watched it. Me and Big Tuna watched it, and I go, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was terrible.
Great phone. I'm not shitting on OnePlus. Great phone, but that was the worst event I've ever seen. Yeah. And I mean, that was worse than the Microsoft event where Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer were on stage.
In the 90s, yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
it was worse.
I would argue our weekly fucking podcast were better than the fucking OnePlus event.
It was so bad. I was literally me and 2A were literally going back and forth. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever, and nobody. They're like, oh, it's so great, and nobody clapped. They were like, this. Even the people there were like, we're getting this for free, and we're not even excited. So come on,
I can't get that time back.
If Samsung is smart, later this year, when they do the Watch 6 and Watch 6 Pro and the Tab S9, S9 Plus and S9 Ultra and that. They in their ear will be at like the Buds 3 and Buds 3 Pro and all that. That's when they hit on ecosystem, because these are accessories. But then they say, you know what, this isn't the only thing we sell, and it's not just a tablet, but this goes, they can touch on features that they showed before, but they don't press them as hard. Like the whole, you can use your S Pen from your tablet with your Ultra phone and your Galaxy Book Pro 360, and they implement together and be like, Apple's not the only one that does this. And by the way, this is better than Sidecar. Like they don't have to talk about Apple, but show, like, for example, Sidecar, you're limited by using a pen. You can actually use your fingers. The whole being able to use your mouse and keyboard, they've been doing that with things.
And they did show that on a small level where she sat down and she dragged a couple things from the screen, but they didn't explain it. It was like, wait, what? And I had to go back and read, like, even as somebody who's into tech, I had to go back and wait. That was really cool. And watch it again. Somebody who has no fucking idea what this is, they're going, okay, cool. I didn't, whatever, who cares? So I agree with you.
If you don't want one of our Galaxy books, and you want a bigger display. You don't want one of our Galaxy books, and you want a bigger display just to watch stuff, and you don't want a tablet. Here's our awesome OLED TV, with mind-blowing, bright and blinding, 2,000 nits or whatever, and the speaker that projects from behind, and all these, like, so they can pitch it so you, as an idea of like where Apple kind of is like, well, you need to have all these things to work together. And, they're starting to expand, and you have Stage Manager, and we're not going to get into that because I have a different opinion on that than a lot of people. But, like, Dex, they can really push it and focus on
that. They didn't talk about Dex at all.
You don't need to do it as a desktop interface, but just for a matter of, like, I want to be able to use my phone with my TV.
Yeah.
Like,
as a computer on your wireless Dex from your Galaxy S23 to your TV with your pen. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, the guy all of a sudden gets a notification on his phone that his clothes are done in the dry washer and need to be put in the dryer, and that the dishes are done. And now his wife's at work going, the dishes are done, and boom, she gets the notification that the dishes are done. And it's just like little shit like that. I feel like they could showcase it, and they could really make it all integrate, work really well. And I would love to see them later this year take a big shot. Like you said, we've got an accessories event. We're talking tablet, earbuds. We're talking these little things. And now we're going to talk about a whole home smart things experience, including and bring Matter in the fold. And because they started to talk about that a little bit when they brought up the other juggernauts on the stage. And I'm going, wait, are they going to talk about how this all? And they all just kind of stood there like, yeah, we're together. Cool. And that was a power move. But what can I do with all of this? And I know as a techie, I know how to do it. But as a general consumer, I don't know. What's to stop me from buying an LG washer, a Maytag dryer, and a Samsung refrigerator? Why do I need a Samsung refrigerator and a Samsung washer and dryer? I want you to tell me. And they do cool things, too, like this new smart things home base. You get this wireless charger. You put your phone on there, wireless charger. Show me little shit like that. I want to see things like that. So I'd like to see.
They could hire me to do their event. Everybody be laughing their ass off. You'd hire people sitting on their couch, right, and they're watching TV, and a camera pops up and it says it's delivery, and the husband goes, "Hey, what'd you order? It's pizza." And you step out, and the guy opens the pizza box, but instead of a pizza, it's actually the Tab S9 Ultra with like a pizza on it. Like people would laugh their ass off and be like, "Wait a minute, that's not what I ordered," and then it would go into the why not bring humor into it? Everybody's too serious and they're a little funny, but bring the touches into it.
They spend millions of dollars on, like, I guarantee you OnePlus, whatever the budget for that was fucking, I could have went to Family Dollar General and got some streamers and put together a better event with the three of you guys than OnePlus 11 put on with that. So, yeah.
If any of the OnePlus with Samsung crew are listening, we're available.
We're available. Through Twitter. I'm telling you. I use your products also. But no, I really do think, I'm going to say this, and I'll end it on this note. I think that 2023, which coincidentally goes with the Galaxy S23. I think that this is going to be Samsung's golden year. They can take a big shot at the throne. And so far, I don't have the phone in my hand yet, but a lot of people do, Darren. I know people personally who have the phone in their hand. Yeah, we're on 5, so we're gonna be waiting a little bit. But I know people personally who have it in their phone, and I'm talking about people who have the phone in their hand and people who are skeptical. I'm saying, I really haven't, because I honestly haven't given Samsung probably since the Galaxy S8 a chance to totally win my entire tech life. Because I'm into everything else. The Galaxy S21 I loved. But I didn't really know if I wanted to give myself completely over to this or completely over to that. I think this is the year, 2023, Galaxy S23 year. This is the time that they need to take the biggest shot that they could ever take because Apple's slipping a little bit, and it's time for somebody else come up. And I think also, if that happens, the Google and Samsung partnership, that by proxy will help Google get more market share. Because let's be honest, most people think about Android, they think about Samsung. Then they hear Google, and then they realize Google has stuff that works now. Okay, they have Nest devices that now work with smart things that I already own and Matter. And I think it can work for everybody. And what was it? Be Together, Not the Same, used to be Google's. So we need to bring shit. Yeah, we need to bring that shit back, and I think it'll help everybody. So that's what I got.
On that note, I'll just leave it there, and I'll just say, look, definitely a great special edition here of TNT. We got a lot of great feedback from the people who are in the chat here, just saying that they love the Sunday night shit show, which was an impromptu
Sunday night shit show. We need shirts.
That's right.
Listen, we're going to try to do some more of these. I think they're a good way to talk about, I think not just tech, but just kind of like the state of tech. I think that's really where we're going. So listen, on that note, you can catch us again this Thursday on the TNT podcast, on YouTube, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, the podcast going to the moon. We're everywhere. Check
Spotify,
us out. Spotify,
wherever you get your shit. Yep.
I'm on the moon right now, so yeah, it's here.
I can take soon between March 3rd and the 6th. I'll be able to take a picture of the moon, according to Google 5. So I don't know. All right, brothers. Yeah, I'll take it easy.
Peace.